Hello and good morning, good afternoon, and a very good evening to you. Welcome to the Tube. Hope today, hope you're feeling grand and all is well in your world. Hello there, everybody. A bit of a different video today, everybody. We are going to be, this week is Mental Health Awareness Week, and about 2 years ago, or a year ago, I don't know. Was it last year I did it? I don't know. I forget now. I did a video about my story for Mental Health Week. I did my kind of like, the whole kind of like explaining how I got my mental health issues and what I kind of had to deal with when I was younger and how that carries on into today and stuff like that. And being as it's Mental Health Week, I wanted to talk about it again, if you know what I mean, because it's something it's for me is and for a lot of us out there, and I've spoke to a lot of you about this. It's not just a week. You know what I mean? Our mental health awareness, yes, is a week, but like our mental health issues are 24/7, 7 days a week. 7 days a week. Every day of the year is some form of battle or fight with your own mental health. And it's in all fairness, Mental Health Week is really, really cool. It's finally, it's really nice to kind of see that mental health is actually starting to be looked at and taken seriously instead of like being told to oh, man up or just get on with it. Oh, everyone goes through that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, everyone does go through certain things, but not everybody has to deal with certain things that are as intense as certain people have to deal with, if that makes any sense at all. Which I'm not sure that does make sense. But anyway, so I wanted to just talk about certain things that have been happening with me recently with one thing or another, and just basically how if you are going through that, hopefully I might be able to say something, which is what I'm hoping, say something in this video that will give you strength to keep on at it, if that makes any sense. Because let's kind of cut to the chase, shall we? Let's cut to the chase. This video isn't going to be an easy thing for me to talk about, because recently for the last couple of months, I've been in a very, 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 very bad place mentally, like very, very bad. To the point where, it all started with about a year or so ago. My anxiety issue always finds a way to screw with me. One way or another, it always finds a way to mess with me. So when I think I've conquered one symptom, another one will pop up, and that one always feels worse because it's brand new and I don't know how to deal with it. So recently, in recent times, like last year, I started to develop this breathlessness issue. Like I couldn't breathe properly. My chest was closed up and I couldn't breathe. I couldn't catch my breath. And obviously that triggers my anxiety, because I'm like, oh, I can't breathe, I'm suffocating, I'm going to die. And I'm sure quite a lot of us know that feeling. It's absolutely horrific. It's really, really not very nice. Anyway, that kind of debilitated me, to be honest with you. It kind of really, really hit me hard. And through that, I developed all sorts of other anxiety issues, including heart palpitations and a tightness in my chest and general fear that I was having a heart attack. And recently, at the beginning of the year, my uncle and my cousin's husband passed away in the space of 2 weeks. So my uncle had Alzheimer's, so he had been slowly going for years. But we went round to my auntie's house about a week or so before he passed away, and the image that I saw of him, I will never get out of my mind, and it really, really hit me square in the face, like a real cold bucket of water. Really hit me in the face, like whoa, there we are, and it was like reality. It was terrifying. It was just horrible. I was just like, I can't actually deal with it, and it affected everyone like it's going to. Anyway, he passed away, and then literally 2 weeks later, my cousin's husband passed away, and he was like my uncle, like just some of the nicest people you're ever going to meet, and they'll be missed horrifically, like they really will, and just larger than life people, really. Anyway, my cousin's husband passed away from a heart attack. So my anxiety decided to twist this, which in the way your anxiety does, it plays upon your weaknesses. Anxiety does. It really does like to play on your weaknesses. So my anxiety twisted it to make me think that when I'm having heart palpitations and chest tightness and shortness of breath, I'm having a heart attack. So that's what I've been dealing with for the last 3 months, is every day thinking I'm having a heart attack. It got to the point, it's not getting to the point, and I'll get to that in a bit. Got to the point about, I don't know when, about a month ago or so, I was playing a gig with Dukes Deluder, and I was on stage, and things were just going a bit awry. But it was a bit kind of crazy, and things were going a bit wrong with one thing or another, and 2 songs into a 7-song set, I got a really tight chest and heart palpitations, and I was on stage. I'm like, what the hell am I going to do, And by the end of the song, I was like, just come on then, if you're going to kill me, kill me. Just get it over and done with. If that's what you want, do it. Nothing happened, obviously. It's all in there telling me that's going to happen when it's not going to happen. I know that. But it does get to a point where it pushes you to that point where you are so done and so beaten down by it. You are literally like, whatever. Do what you want. I don't care anymore. Just do what you need to do. And if that means that, then bring it. You do get to that point. It's a very, very dark point. Anyway, in dealing with this recently, it's put my head in a spiral. We've just been going down and down and down. So I was dealing with all this kind of pent up anxiety of oh god, I've got to go through another day of fighting this and all this kind of, and it was just it was getting to a point where I can't be bothered to fight it. And then all this copyright nonsense blew up, and it was just another kick in the nether regions. To knock you down a bit more. Just when you kind of fighting something you kind of don't really have a handle on in the first place. That something else comes along and it kicks you right in the teeth and just knocks you right back down. And it really, really, really hit me very, very hard. And I'm not going to lie, and I don't want to lie to you, but it's very hard to talk about this stuff. I was looking for a way out. And I call it it. My brain isn't it, if you know what I mean. The thing in my brain that tells me all these bad things about, you're no good. You can't play guitar, you're absolutely useless, no one cares, just throw yourself off a cliff. That kind of lovely stuff that my lovely bully brain likes to tell me. It was saying there's only one way out of this, Dave, and you know what that is. And at that point, I was like, no, I'm not doing this again. I've been here before, I'm not doing this again, I'm not doing it again. I am not sitting here and letting it dictate what I can and cannot do in my life, and I'm certainly not going to let it dictate when my life ends. Just because. And that was my mindset. So that was it. I was a fight between that and this all day. Good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. For hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on end. To a point where I'm just totally exhausted by it. I was just beaten down by it. And I was talking to family and friends and and really trying to get a handle on it. And I haven't got a handle on it. It's as simple as that, really. It's really, really difficult for me to kind of get it, if that makes any sense. I can understand it, but the thing is, it's when things are constantly going wrong, or they appear to be going wrong. They're not necessarily going wrong, but because of your mindset is so negative, everything's bad. You know what I mean? And I'm sure we've all been there. Everything. You wake up in the morning and you stub your toe, and then you go downstairs and you spill your tea, or whatever you have in the morning, and then as you're walking out the house or something happens and you bang your elbow on the door frame, you immediately go, right, well, that's my day ruined. I'm going to have a really bad day today because of this one thing. And you set it in your mind, and that's that. And that's basically been my mindset for the last couple of months of like, you know, and I've had the positives definitely, but like the negative in my head has just been trying to downplay it, and I've been fighting to not downplay it. You know what I mean? It's this real fight going on, and then about 2 weeks about 2 weeks ago now, it all blew up. Basically, I had been fighting it and bottling it up and just kind of like containing it as best I could in a pot for as long as I could, and then like 2 weeks ago, I literally, everything that day was just getting to me, like, you know, little things like the fact it was raining and I had a gig and I had to do this and I had to do that, and I was just like, you know, things that otherwise you are fairly easy to get by. You know, they're not mundane, but like, you know, they're just kind of like, you know, usual daily things that happen. You know, that's life kind of thing. You know what I mean? And I basically just lost it and had a little bit of a kind of a little breakdown, if you will. Not like a huge kind of total thing, but I lost control. Basically, I just lost it, and you know, and I just couldn't take it anymore. I just was just like in absolute. I was just absolute, you know, done. You know, I was just kind of like, you know, I'd reached that end of the line where I just literally was like, I can't do this. I literally can't do this anymore. I can't fight it anymore. I can't do this. And I was just, you know, wailing away to my sister and my mum and Joe, and I was just like, I literally don't know where I'm going anymore. I don't know what I'm doing with it, because I know what I want to do with my life, which is this, and play the guitar and make music for all you out there and all this and the other thing. But it seems to not want me to do that. It likes it always takes, you know what I mean? Anxiety is a thing that always takes and never gives back. It just, you know, having a real kind of bad thing like with anxiety, it just you know, it's like, oh, I'll take this, oh, I'll take that, oh, I'll take this. Oh, you like doing this, do you? Well, I'm going to take that as well, and that's just the way it is, and you will deal with it. It's like that. It's a bully, basically. But it is possible to not beat it, but shut it the hell up. In lack of a better word, make it shut its mouth and fight back, basically, which is extremely easier to say than it is to do, as I know, and I'm sure a lot of us out there know. But so yeah, I had this kind of like absolute breakdown bit where I just literally couldn't cope with it anymore, and I was just done. I had had enough. I was like, I don't know what else to do, and I'm really grateful for that happening, because it was almost like something triggered. And I'm like, right, that's it. I need to get a handle on this. I need to get this sorted. I really need to get my brain back from it and sort it out and just get a grasp on things. And I just dug really, really deep, and I am digging really, really deep every day to go, no, I'm not going to be that negative, grim-brained person who just thinks that the only way out of this is one way, and I'm not doing that. I don't want that. Yeah, it's pushing me that way. I always call it an it. It pushes me that way, but I don't want that. Because if I go for that, then I can't talk to you people, I can't make music, I can't play my guitar. So, I made changes. I'm making changes. I'm trying to push in the right direction for me. You know what I mean? To try and get what I need to do. You know, I don't want to go. I want to stay. So so things are gonna change for me. I'm gonna start going, no, I'm not gonna be negative, because the thing is, I'm a very negative person, really. I'm I'm very kind of in that thing of like, I put myself down a lot. I I never think anything I do is good enough. I never think, the way, I'm forever putting myself down. It's as simple as that, really. And I know a lot of people who suffer with anxiety do that as well. And it's a weird thing, 'cause it's like a reverse ego in a way. It's instead of having that kind of ego where you think you're the bee's knees, you have an ego where you're literally thinking you're the worst person in the world, and there is you're basically just wasting other people's oxygen by even breathing and carrying on your lifespan. It's kind of like that. And basically this video is none of this was planned. If I'm being perfectly honest, I haven't got a cheat sheet that I'm going to refer to points. I just wanted to turn the camera on and just talk and see what comes out, and just be honest about what's been going on. And in so doing so, I'm hoping that maybe if somebody's going through the same kind of thing, and they can see that I can get there, and we, then hopefully we can get there, and then that might spread to somebody else, and knowing that, this and the other. And it dawned on me too. Well, it dawned on me when a friend of mine said, the fact that I don't want to be giving up, because it sends a negative message to people who are going through this. If I gave up and took the way out it tells me to take, then all people who have seen my mental health awareness video or this video are going to be like, well, what the hell? Why should I be strong if you can't be, kind of thing. So that spurred me on even more, and it never occurred to me that until my friend said that to me. He said, you ever thought, you kind of, if you can do it, other people might see that as I can do it as well. And that to me was like, wow, yeah, that's wicked. So basically that's kind of like what this video is really about, really, at the end of the day. Is I'm not going to let it beat me. I'm not going to let anxiety dictate what I can and cannot do in my life. I will not let it drive me down this road. It's going to. But I will be able to always come back from it. I will not let it reach its end game. You know what I mean? My end game happens when my end game happens, but it ain't going to be because of anxiety. Simple as that. If you know what I mean, it's like, when that time comes, it comes, but it isn't going to be because of anxiety says so. You know what I mean? So if I can get this across to people who are in the same position, who are struggling, then that's all that matters. Because there's so many people out there struggling with anxiety worse than me. I know that for a fact. I don't have it. I don't feel I have it bad in comparison to way some people way some people talk about, and what they've had to deal with in their life and what they go through on a daily basis. I have it really kind of I don't have it bad at all in that respect. But I still fight that monster every day, and I know exactly how it feels like, and I know exactly how it feels like to know that there's only one way out. And I'm here to basically say that's not the only way out. There are multiple ways out. You know what I mean? It's somebody said it once. I don't know who said it, but it's that way out, and I don't want to say the word. It begins with an S, and we all know what I mean. That way out, somebody said it once, is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. And I can't feel that that's any more true, because it really is. I mean, I know, because there is ways to just, when you feel you can't go on anymore, you have to really find a way to just go, no, I can. You know what I mean? It really comes from here, not here. This is what's messing you around. This isn't messing you around. These gut feelings you get, this ruins you. This makes you, kind of thing. You know what I mean? You can find that strength, and you can find it through other people helping you. Just reach out. Do not be afraid. And another thing about this Mental Health Awareness Week makes this wicked is that you don't have to be afraid anymore. You don't have to be kind of like, no, I won't mention it, because if I mention it, people are going to think I'm, stupid or whatever. I won't mention it because it's not really a problem. It is a problem. It's a massive problem. And if you're going through it, shout it from the rooftops what you're going through. It doesn't matter how mild or how bad. You know what I mean? Just get it out to other people that you are going through what you're going through. And if they don't want to hang around and help you, they weren't worth it in the first place. But if they hang around and help you, then that's all that matters. You need people around you who are willing to sit there and listen to you just waffle on about what's going on in your head. You need it out. You can't bottle it, because if you do bottle it, it just one day you are a bomb. You are a ticking time bomb. You are a volcano. Eventually, you will explode, and that's that normally. This is when people just go, I can't do this anymore, and that's when that happens. And I don't want that for anyone in the world. I don't want to hear. I can't stand it when you hear about somebody who got bullied at school and they just decided that was the only way out, because that's the only way that bullying's going to stop. You know what I mean? Because nothing else could be done, or it appeared nothing else could be done. It absolutely breaks my heart, because that was nearly me at school. I was there doing that as well, and it really is heartbreaking. But you can come back from it. You can always come back from it. There is always a way, but you have to find it in yourself to do it in the first place. You can't, people can help you, yes, and it's wicked when people help you, and you need people to help you. You cannot do it on your own, but you do have to dig deep in yourself and find that, and it is in everyone. Even when you get to the lowest point where you're literally like, you know what, that's it, can't do this anymore. There is always a comeback. There is always a comeback. I'm positive of it. And if I'm still here, then you can still be here. And if I can function and I can fight it and I can do this kind of thing and you can do it as well, it's not just kind of like, these aren't just cliche sayings. These are true. Like, I have got to that point so many times in my life where and I've tried to go check out, please. But I'm still here, and I'm still going to fight it. Even when I get to that lowest point, I'm like, I'm not, no. When my time comes, my time comes. But like I said, it's not going to be because of anxiety. It's not going to be because of depression. You know what I mean? It's going to be whatever. It's not for me to know. And I'm not going to think about that until that happens, because I've got things to do that I want to do. And that brings me to another point, is you need goals. You need something that you want to do that's so strong that you hold on to it like it's a safety blanket. You hold on to it like you're hanging off a cliff, and it's a person that's just holding on to you. And you will not fall while you have hold of this person. You know what I mean? That's what you need. And and everyone needs that. Everyone needs that feeling. You know what I mean? Everyone needs to belong. Everyone needs to feel like they belong. They're doing something with their life. You know what I mean? When you feel like you've got nothing left, that's when that bad things happen. But everyone has something to give, no matter what it is in the world. They really do. Everyone has something to give, even when they feel they don't. They do. Whether it be one thing or another. You know what I mean? But like I say, I'm still here. And I'm fighting it still. And I refuse to let it beat me. I am not going to let it just keep kicking me. It can kick me all it wants. It can beat me down all it wants. I am going to keep getting back up. And I'm going to keep going on. I am not going to let this dictate, like I say, what I can and cannot do with my life. I'm not going to have that. This is my life. It's not its life. My anxiety is a product of what happened to me. It's not what I am. It's not who I am. My anxiety is not me. It's an it. And it doesn't even, my sister said, don't even, somebody just said, why even give it time of the day? And that's exactly it. It's like an annoying thing that just, you can just turn it off. It takes time. It's not that easy. You can't just flick a switch and it's gone. It takes time and it takes a lot of effort, but it can be done. I know it can be done because I'm still here. And I have been in bad situations with certain... I don't want to talk about that. But I've been there. You know what I mean? But there is always a way. There is always a way. This happens to be mine. Especially this one. This piece of wood with strings, wires, and electrics, and metal lines is one of my main reasons for being here. That's one of my main reasons for being here, and this guitar was my main reason for being here when I feel I shouldn't have been anymore. And the guitar has always been that way. It came along. I didn't play music through school. I didn't play guitar. I wasn't interested in music at all through school because I had other things on my mind, and having the school life I had, it wasn't easy to focus on anything. So, and when I left school, it just appeared. Literally, as soon as I finished school, the guitar just appeared. I heard my dad and my sister playing away together, and I was like, I want to do that. Never been musical in my life up to that point. I was 16 years old. I'd never been musical to that point in my life. I didn't have a CD player. I didn't even own a CD. I had no CDs. I had nothing. I had no interest whatsoever in it whatsoever. So I was always surrounded by music, with my brother listening to Oasis and my dad listening to punk music and my mum listening to a top 40 and my sister listening to her music as well. But I was never interested in it because I was going through other things that just kind of got in the way. You know what I mean? And these things were just a negative influence, such a negative impact on me that it just killed all joy. And I always say that the guitar, I didn't choose the guitar chose me. It came along at a certain time, and I was just able to do it. You know what I mean? On my 16th birthday, I was 15 when I saw my sister and my dad playing, and on my 16th birthday, I got my first guitar. And as soon as we got it home, and I plugged that little Washburn Maverick Series guitar into my PV Rage amp, and we just cranked the amp up really loud, and I played Undertones, Teenage Kicks. There is nothing like that feeling in the world to me. It's still the same way now, 17 years down the line. 17 years tomorrow. Than it was then. It's just constant release, and I just love it so much. It's just all I want to do is make, play, and record music. I just want to play my guitar more than anything. It's just the only thing that makes me feel free. You know what I mean? Because it does free you. Music does free you. Even if you can't play an instrument, you know, how many times have you put on a song and it will just release you from the world? Just all that stress, all the pressure, all the woes, all the worry, all the whatever. It just goes in music. And this is why music is such a powerful, beautiful art form. And with all the copyright stuff recently going on, it's just like, you know, you're pushing it. You're pushing buttons that you should not be pushing. Big people, corporations. So yeah. So this is really difficult. But like I say, coming back to it, just to kind of like sum up really, it's not easy. And it's not going to be easy, and it's never going to be easy. But one thing I will say is just learn to accept it as part of you. If you have anxiety troubles, you have depression, you have this and the other, just learn to accept that's part of you. It's not you, but it is part of you. But it doesn't dictate what you are. You do that. You know, it's not the driving force of your life. It's not the be-all and end-all. It's not an end game. You can get through it if you just dig. And you do have to dig deep. You really do have to dig deep. I mean, I am every day at this point in time. It's a struggle, but you can do it. And the more you do it, the more it shuts its mouth. And the more you can do what you want, you can do life. You know what I mean? You really can. The more you go against it, the less, you just decrease its power every time. Every time you fight it and you beat it, with a positive mindset instead of a negative mindset. You just beat it further down, and instead of it kicking you, you kick it. It can't be beaten, no, but it can be beaten down. The same way it beats you down every day, you can beat it down and you can come out on top. Will it be there the next day? Yes, most probably. I can't guarantee that it'll ever go away. Because like I say, it'll always be part of your anxiety. Anxiety doesn't go away. It's just cripplingly horrible. But you can fight, you can beat it in a day-to-day basis. Sometimes some days you might have to settle with a draw. Some days you can beat it. Some days you're going to lose. But that's the way it is. Some days you are going to lose. Some days it's going to beat you. But the more you beat it, the more it shuts its face. And that's important. Because it's, like I say, I'm going to reiterate again, it's not you. It's part of you, but it doesn't mean anything. It's like your appendix. You know what I mean? That's part of you, but it can be removed and you can keep going. You know what I mean? It's not a fundamental part of your being. You are. You know what I mean? And you can find a way to just kick it into, go away. There's a way to do that. You can do that. You can beat it down. You can't get rid of it. I don't believe you can get rid of anxiety, especially when it's been really, really bad and it's plaguing you constantly. I've had my problem now for 20 years. I figured out the other day I've been suffering with my anxiety issue for 20 years now. And I know it's not going away. I know I'm going to have to keep going and going and going and going with it every day. But I'm not going to let it beat me. And that's the way this is. You know, I mean, yes, some days it's going to win. Some days I'm going to win. Some days we're going to draw. But, if I've got to fight every day, then I've got to fight every day. But I can do it. And if I can do it, then you can as well. And I know people out there, you can. So, there's always a way. There's always a way. There is always a way. You have to dig deep. Yes, sometimes it's really difficult, and sometimes you don't want to. But it's better than the alternative. It's better than the way out. The way out is not a solution. It's not a solution. Like I forget who said it, but it really is true about the S word. It is a temporary solution. It is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. Sorry, I got that wrong way around. But it really is. It really is. And like I say, anxiety isn't you. You're not your anxiety. You are you. And if you want to do something, you can do it. Maybe not this week. Maybe not next year. Maybe not the year after that. But eventually you'll get there. If you just keep going and going and going, and sometimes you're just really difficult. And this is where people come in. You need people to keep you driven. And you need something, like a goal, to keep you driven. Whether it be, like me, making music, playing my guitar. If I'm not here, I can't play my guitar, and that's a no-no. I want to play my guitar until I literally cannot anymore. Until I fall down because it's that time, I'm going to play this. Anxiety is not going to take that away from me. I don't care. My anxiety, my depression, my worries, they're not going to take that away from me just because. You know what I mean? Yes, they make me think it's not worth it sometimes, but it's always worth it. And you do need that. You do need those goals. You need to be able to find that kind of thing in your life that makes you want to just keep existing. You know what I mean? But make sure you want it. You never want to settle at that point. You really want to find something you're so passionate about and love. I mean, I get really passionate about the guitar and because I love it. You know what I mean? When people say, have you ever played a bad guitar? Not really. I've played a couple of really, really bad guitars, but if it's got 6 strings on it and I can play it and it makes a sound that I like, I'm happy. You know what I mean? It's like I love guitar. I love amps. I love pedals. I love noise. I love expression and freedom of expression through the guitar. I love to be able to push myself into certain situations using the guitar that I would not necessarily be in otherwise. Going out, for instance, like to play a gig in a pub, you wouldn't if without a guitar or a gig, you wouldn't get me into like a pub or a club if you had to. You know what I mean? Because I just can't. I don't like doing it. Even going to see bands, which I like to go. I'm going to see a band next month in Leeds, and it's weighing on my mind because I've got to go out. I'm not going to be able to have my guitar with me. I've got to go and stand in a room with loads of people, and I get very nervous in crowds. I'm not very good in crowds. I never have been, and that stems back to school as well. But that's the root of my anxiety and depression is school. Like I'm sure quite a lot of ours is out there. Quite a lot of people out there have torrid times at school, and that does end up haunting them for the rest of their life. But I'm worried about that, But the problem is, when you're worrying about it, it takes away from you living in that moment and actually enjoying it, which is a really, really bad thing. And there have been times where I've been out and about, and instead of actually just enjoying what's going on, I've just been like that. And then you leave, and you just get beaten down by it because you're like, well, I didn't enjoy that. And I should have enjoyed that, and that should have been fun. But it wasn't because I let the bully take over. And anxiety is just a bully at the end of the day. And it's really strange, like all the people who bullied me at school put this bully in my head, and now I'm a bully to myself. And that's exactly what anxiety is. You are a bully to yourself. You punish yourself instead of somebody else doing it. And instead of being on a physical kind of plane or somebody else doing it on a kind of like on a verbal thing, you are doing it verbally and sometimes physically to yourself. I have a tendency to hit myself when I get into those kind of things because I feel worthless. Like I'm sure quite a lot of us do. It makes you feel worthless. Anyway, but like I say, it can't be it can't be got over, but it can, and it can't really. It can be beaten. Though, if you know what I mean, it'll always be part of you, but it's not you, but you can beat it, you know what I mean? And every time you push it further down, it shuts its mouth a bit more, and you gain back more control over it, instead of it having control over you. And the only thing that gives anxiety control is you. I give it free reign over my emotions. It's not hyper aware, it's me being I just give it. Well, I give it the power. Instead of kind of like you become very irrational, basically. But you give it power. It draws its power from you. You know what I mean? Like, so if you're in a negative mindset, then it's gonna love it. You know what I mean? If you're in a positive mindset, it's gonna hate it because it can't break through. Positivity will always override negativity. You know what I mean? If you can think positive about any situation, like if you're like, ooh, I don't want to go to the shop today. I need to go to the shop today, but I'm full of anxiety and I can't actually get out of the house. If you can it's really difficult. This is so hard. This is so much easier to say than it is to do. And trust me, I've been there. I've gone through it, and I still go through it. If you can get your mind to go, no, I can do this. I can go across to the shop and buy whatever you need to buy. I can do this, and not let it beat you. Then when you get back from the shop, you will feel you might feel knackered. You might feel exhausted, even though it's like, whatever, across the road or whatever. But you'll feel empowered by that because you did that. You didn't let it beat you. You beat it, and then it just kind of sits in the corner like, fine, which is great, which is exactly what you want. You're beating the bully at its own game. When it says you can't do something, you go out and do it. It's like, I didn't expect that, which is what you want, which is exactly what you want to do. And like I said, the S word is not the solution. I know exactly how people see it as being, because that's where I've been recently. And I totally understand how it feels like that is the only way out, and that's the only way you're ever going to be free of it, or whatever you're going through. But there is always a way. There is always a way. You just got to find it, and sometimes it just it takes a long time to find it, but you will if you just keep going. There is always a reason to keep going. There is always a reason. You just have to find it. I promised you. There is always a way. You know what I mean? And if I'm still here after all this, 20 years of it, and I've spoken to other people who have had it for even longer than that, who have been in that situation, and if they're still here, then we can all find a way. And again, through Mental Health Awareness Week, which is awesome, we know what we no longer have to suffer in silence. You know what I mean? We don't have to kind of like just kind of like bottle it up and go, right, well, I can't talk about it because people are going to think whatever about me, or people aren't going to take it seriously or treat it like it's not really a problem. So it is awesome that it's finally being recognised, and I'm going through steps to sort myself out. I have assessments coming up and stuff like that to sort myself out and stuff like that. And these are the changes you need to make. And also the mindset. You have to change your mindset. You have to stop being just negative towards it. You have to kind of go, right, it's doing this. What's the positive to its negative? If it's saying you can't do something, what's the positive to it saying, no, I can do it? You know, what's the counter argument to its argument? You know what I mean? How can you beat it at its own game, so to say? Because you can. There is always a way. Anyway, I think I've waffled on long enough about this. So now, I come up with a piece of music this morning for this video, and I thought I'd play it at the end because I want to dedicate it to anybody who's going through all this lovely horrific stuff. It's not fun. I know it's not fun, but this next song is all for you, and I really hope it. You know, it's. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you enjoy it for what it is. And so yeah, it doesn't have a name. It doesn't have anything. It's just. It's just for you. It's just for you to make whatever you will of it. Whether you see it as anger, sadness, or pain, or even happiness, or a new beginning, or an overcome of something, or whatever. Just close your eyes and listen to what this is telling you, not what this is telling you. Listen to this, not this. Listen to your gut. What's it telling you about what's going on in this piece of music? About you. Don't think about what I'm playing. Don't think about what key it's in if you're a musician. Don't think about any of that. Don't think about what pedals I'm using. Just think about what's that saying about you, and what do you want? Because this is really important in life as well. I'll finish on this one. We'll finish on positive. Everything comes down to asking yourself that question at the end of the day: is what do you want? Sometimes it's a really hard question to answer, because sometimes the lines blur and you can't really see what it is you want, and it's difficult sometimes. But if you dig deep and look hard enough, you'll find what you want, and normally that's the reason you're around, and that's why you're here, and that's your reason for being. So and that will change over time. I'm sure it will. I'm sure what people want changes over time, and that's a good thing as well, because you go from one thing to another, and it constantly refreshes your life, if you will, and you constantly find new reasons to be, instead of kind of like letting a certain stupid bully kind of let you feel like you shouldn't be. So yeah, this is my little video for this Mental Health Awareness Week. Like I say, it's very kind of like close to me, because of the last 20 years of my life has been kind of like going through it, for better or for worse or whatever it is, and like I say, if I'm still here, then we can all still be here at the end of the day. You know what I mean? There isn't one way out. You know what I mean? The S word isn't the way out. There's many other ways out that involve continuing on and breathing. And yeah. So yeah. Hope you enjoyed this piece of music, everybody, and I will see you again. Have a great weekend, everybody, and I will see you again on Monday for another video. And yeah, have a great morning, afternoon, and good evening. And I will see you again on Monday for another video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope it hasn't been too much of a waffle. And yeah, I'll see you again. Happy Mental Health Awareness Week, everybody. And I mean happy Mental Health Awareness Week, because be happy. There's always a reason to be happy, one way or another. You know, you just got to find it sometimes. Sometimes it's hidden, but there's always a way. There's always a reason. There's always a way, whatever that may be. So yeah, thank you very much for watching, everybody. I'll see you again. Have a great one. Goodbye now. Thank you.